Mr. Osama. How are you?
I'm fine, Alhamdulillah. Please tell me about your health situation. Are you okay
Um,
now?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. I'm good. I'm very good,
Alhamdulillah.
inshallah.
What was the
How-
problem? Normal flu case?
Say it again.
What was the problem? Normal flu case?
No, it has nothing to do with flu. It's been in
Okay.
some sort of germ or infection, stomach
Mm-hmm.
infection that just
Oh,
kicked me down for around a week, and it's just toppled me upside
oh.
down.
Oh, it is because eating outside of the house?
I really don't know. I mean, as you know, viruses and germs are very microscopic
Yes.
organism, and it cannot be seen with the naked eye.
Yeah,
Naked.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that. Well, one of the famous germ that affected the stomach called Helicobacter pylori that cause
What the hell is
um
that?
yeah yes the name
You
is so
you just said
scary,
it.
but it is
You just vomited a word that I haven't heard before.
yes, yes, yes. The Helicobacter pylori that known as a shortcut, but H. pylori. This H. pylori lead to more acidity in the stomach, nausea,
Uh-huh.
vomiting sometimes, something like that. It is so noisy germ.
Okay, and
Yes.
I think that you are very specialized in this kind of topic.
Mhm,
What just, I mean, this made me very curious to ask you a question related to your field of work.
mhm.
What just made you engaged and interested in studying pharmacy in general? Is it like
Ah,
some sort of childhood
yeah.
dream, or is it something related to the score you got in high school, or is it some
Mhm,
of your family's wish to
mhm.
achieve this level of efficiency and proficiency in the field of pharmacy? Or
Yeah.
give me a detailed answer, please.
No, yes, this is a good question, Walid, but I think I faced this question many times before. I
Uh-huh.
think the answer is a collection from all of that. Wish family, it is available for each one enter the secondary school, but they are wish to be a physician, a doctor, and I'm always asking the guys in my age or the families, the relative families, if all of you want your children to be doctors, who will be the patient? Who will be the patient if all of you will
I
be
mean,
doctors?
at least there should be somebody to feel sick, so he gets the treatment by doctors and physicians and pharmacists and specialized people. Otherwise, everybody is gonna
Yeah,
lose the kind of steam of getting to that
yeah,
position.
yeah,
What's
yeah,
your
you're right.
observation regarding what's your observation regarding the recent
Mhm.
graduates scores and
Yeah,
the way of admitting students to medical schools and pharmacy schools in
yeah,
general? What do
yeah.
you see their level and their efficiency and their motivation? What's your observation about that?
Look, before I answering this question, let me tell you that it was a wish from my family. It was also the score, the high score of my secondary school,
Mm,
but I preferred to be a pharmacist rather than to be a physician because I believe that the pharmacist is one of the most important job and in the society. Why? Because it is the link between the
mhm,
physician and the patient. And without this link, doctors or physicians cannot express or explain every details about the medicine to the patient because he has no time for that. And also
okay.
the patient cannot understand when and where and how many and how often will take this and how long will take the medicine. I believe that the pharmacists sometimes play a vital role for to be a physician and the pharmacist in the pharmacy. Both of the
Can
jobs.
I mean, I have so many questions about pharmacy, and probably we're gonna spend the whole night talking about
Mhm.
pharmacists.
Yes, you are right.
And I really don't mind that.
Mhm.
However, there is this common question that may
Mhm.
interfere with the procedure of doctors. Like lots of pharmacists get the prescription from doctors, and they describe the medicine to
Mhm.
patients, but sometimes
Mhm.
they prescribe the medicine, not describe it.
Mhm.
They prescribe it. So based on the prescription of the doctor, they may agree or disagree or interfere with the suggestions by doctors. So do you have this sort
Mhm.
of conflict where doctors don't know as many aspects or
Mhm.
as many information about the medicine that pharmacists do, and they get in conflict?
Yes, I faced that conflict many times in my pharmaceutical life.
Hmm.
Sometimes there is a high level of sensitivity between the doctors and pharmacists. Doctors feel himself as the king of the medical field and does not want anyone to compete him in this field. While in the world, I'm talking about the
Why
United States of
why would
America.
that
And
happen? Why would that happen? What's the reason that just made them feel that they are kings and nobody else knows any other things about medicine?
really, I think that it is because the mentality of the doctors in the Middle East, and I think also it is because the economic situation. Doctors do
Economic
not want,
situation.
yes, yes, doctors do not want anyone to give a
Hmm.
prescription instead of them, and that will keep the patients going to the clinic of the doctors and not going to the pharmacy to get the advice. And that
Hmm.
will keep the good economic situation for the doctors themselves. When we are talking about United States of America and Canada, there is a program known as the clinical pharmacy. What is the
Tell me
clinical
about
pharmacy? Clinical,
tell me about it in more
yes,
details, please.
yes. Clinical pharmacy, it is the program that evaluates, or it is the program that creates a pharmacist in the same time, a pharmacist and the doctor in the same time. He's a pharmacist, but he make tour with the physician at the early morning for the patients and give the advice
Mhm.
for the drug of choice. You know what is the meaning of a drug of choice? When physician make a tour for the patients at the early morning, um,
Mhm.
tell the pharmacist that this patient, I think, according to the signs and symptoms, I think he has this type or this kind of infection or this type of illness. So, what
Mhm.
is your device about the drug of choice for this case? Pharmacist, in this case, give the drug of choice for the physician, and the physician write it down in the prescription sheet of the hospital. This is the clinical pharmacy. In
Mhm.
Iraq, in Iraq, they are studying the clinical pharmacy, but without putting a real job on the ground. When you are going to any hospital, you will find a department of a clinical pharmacy, but doctors in the early morning tour do not sharing the information with the pharmacist, do not getting
Why?
the advice from pharmacists because what we are talking before, the mentality, and do not want anyone to compete them about the distance that they are filling in the hospital and the clinic.
So
You
they're
know,
just putting,
sometimes
are they putting
one
some
time,
restrictions on
yeah,
the
yeah, 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 yeah,
sharing
yeah,
of
yeah.
information because this is going to have them lack the distinction
Yes,
and the
yes.
superiority and the upper hand?
Yes, yes. And I remember I was working in Al Karama Hospital, Al Karama Teaching Hospital in Baghdad.
Hmm.
And one day, when I'm doing my routine work at the early morning, I have to check all the prescriptions of the doctors to the patients and allocate the medicines from the pharmacy of the hospital to the patients. One of the medicines was not available in the hospital, so I
Hmm.
wrote under it the alternative. And the second day and the next day, I noticed that the doctor canceled my advice and insist to bring that not available medicine from outside pharmacy, and that will bring the family of the patient to pay money to bring that medicine, and
Hmm.
the alternative one is available in the hospital. Why? Because he didn't want to broke his word in front of the advisement of the pharmacist.
Because
You can imagine.
that's gonna um that's gonna embarrass him and will be an indicator that he lacks sufficient information in his field or for other
Where,
purposes.
where, where is where is the impressment in this case? On the other hand, there is a doctor. I send my assistant to him to ask him that Dr. Osama said there is an alternative for the medicine that you have brought in the
Alternative.
prescription.
Alternative.
Alternative. Did you know what his reply was? He said to my
Uh-huh.
assistant, go and say to Dr. Osama, the pharmacist is no more than me in medicines. So what he will advise, wallahi, what
Mm.
he will advise me about the alternative, I agree.
Uh-huh.
Look, there is some differentiation between doctors. There is an open mind and a closed mind, like everybody.
Oh my God.
That's what's going on. That's where it's going. But I think that 80% of the patients nowadays going to the pharmacy to ask the pharmacist and advise to what
Osama,
is the yes.
sorry to interrupt you here, but I don't think that pharmacist is important in overall health system. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I disagree. Of course.
You have 5 minutes to respond back to me,
Hmm.
but in a defensive way. 5 minutes. I don't
Okay.
think pharmacist deserves this level of attention. I don't think pharmacists are at the same level of doctors in terms of knowledge. They lack knowledge, they lack experience. They are not as important as doctors. Do you agree or disagree? Yes, why? No, why? 5 minutes.
Mhm. Yes, I will start setting 5 minutes in my phone.
Okay. You're
It's
wasting your time and you're wasting the reputation of pharmacy here.
I believe that the
You have
pharmacist
four
is one.
minutes.
Oh, I I believe that the pharmacist is one of the most important guy or person in the society, especially in the medical field,
Wow.
because yes, because he is the link between doctors and the patient, and he's the translator of the prescription to the patient. He know about the medicine more than the physician, because one important reason doctors is studying the medicine for one course through 6 years of study in the College of Medicine, while the pharmacist studying the pharmacology science and the details about the medicines for 4 courses through 5 years of study in the College of Pharmacy.
Mhm.
Also, pharmacist can uh, pharmacist can explain the side effects and the drug interactions more efficiently more than the physician because of his background. regarding the medicine study, and also the pharmacists know about the chemistry of the medicines more than the physician, because he study all the time, all the kind of chemistry in the college, organic chemistry, normal chemistry, physical chemistry, and know the atom of the medicine, how they derived it from the ring of benzene, with six ring of sexual ring of benzene, and know everything about his specialty. Pharmacist, he is a good assistant for the physician to reach the information about the medicine for the patient. Pharmacist know how to combine or to mix two or more active ingredients to create a new molecule of medicine. Pharmacists nowadays in the pandemic situation do a vital role in discovering the vaccine that will fight um, this hard and killer virus that invasion the world. Pharmacist also, if you don't know, he is discovered pharmacist discovered the most important and the most famous, not important, most famous drink all over the world, which is the Pepsi.
Oh,
By
so
accident.
you're just saying that there is no other contributor to the discovery of vaccines except for pharmacists, and doctors didn't contribute like Dr. Fauci and his team are not doctors,
Yes.
they are pharmacists.
Dr. Fauci, he is the head of the institute, but who will looking for the signs of symptoms of the illness, signs of symptoms of the patients then infected with the vaccine. The most important two person that looking for the vaccine or the medicine and create a new molecule is the pharmacist and the biological guys, because
Okay,
they are
that sounds,
knowing. Yes.
but I still
Hmm.
feel that you can say more about the role
Hmm.
of pharmacists in terms
Of
of their
course.
contribution to humanity, to
Definitely.
society, to the hygiene
Definitely.
of people and the
Hmm.
protection of their
Yes.
lives from any medication risks. Um,
Hmm.
do you think that well, why do some medications affect people's behavior?
Oh, yeah. Um, what do you mean by
What's
behavior?
your
If you are
point of
talking
view?
about,
What's your pharmacy? What's your point of view?
yes, I think you are talking about a part of the medicine which are using for the treatment of the psychological disease that affect the
Mm,
behavior of the patients with the high level. The least change in the behavior of those patients is the sedative. These
mhm.
drugs or these type
Sed-
of medications,
Sedative. Sedative.
yes, they are described as a sedative medicine that lead the patient to sleep more than the normal case and be quiet, more quiet than other people, normal people. And the upper change in their behavior may be to be um, inactive,
Okay,
sorry,
stop
inactive,
here.
yes, inactive people.
Stop here. Stop here.
Yes.
Okay, so since we are running an interview with a
Hmm.
pharmacist, and I think this is probably a simulation of some sort of interview that maybe later on. Have you worked later on? You do, but Have you worked before in a pharmacy?
Of course, yes.
Um,
I worked in
give
many
me an
pharmacies.
example. Give
Mhm.
me an example of a time you did not meet a patient's expectations. What happened and how did you resolve this medical conflict regarding medicine or choice of medicine or choice of alternative medicine?
Well, the story is in this
One minute.
in this 1 minute. Sometimes a patient taking a medicine from you and go and return back after 1 day, taking one tablet from the sheet and ask you to return back to him his money because this medicine did not affect him. And my question to him at that time, if you want one tablet to solve or fix your disease case, why the manufacturer put 10 tablets in the sheet? And you can, wallahi, I faced this case
Okay.
in the real.
Uh-huh.
And another case, it is a joke for you. Some guy came to me to the pharmacy with his daughter with 10 years old and explained to me her signs and symptoms. And I said to him, yes, I know what she suffered from. Let me give you the drug of choice. He said to me, no, 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 please, please, I don't want medicine. I said to him, why so you are coming to the pharmacy? If you want me to ask God to make her good, I'm ready. Why you are coming to the pharmacy without getting any medicine? What do you want me
Okay.
to do for her?
When you're working, when you're
Yes.
working with a larger number of patients at pharmacy,
Yeah.
is it challenging to
Yes.
provide excellent service to everyone, or do you go by priority of patients' seriousness and disease?
Yes, the
One
priority
minute.
for the serious, yes, the priority was always for the serious cases and also for the geriatric patients because they cannot stand long time in the pharmacy. But to be honest,
Can
I
you
paid.
elaborate the difference between geriatric and pediatric uh,
Of course,
people?
yes.
Hmm.
uh, Pediatric people, the children, and the geriatric people who over 80 or 70 years old, they are cannot stand long time in the pharmacy, and they have always short withstanding mood. They be angry too very fast and want to take their medicine very easily and fast. But to be honest, I always paid the same level of care for all the age of the patients that coming to my pharmacy. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Now, since you have very limited time constraint here, tell me about a time that you had overwhelming number of responsibilities, and what did you do about that once you started working in the management, sales, marketing of
Mm.
pharmacies?
Yes. It is one of the most noisy thing for me in the last period or in the new a new job because it affects my family time. The short time that I spend in the office with the huge number of dossiers that I have to review and the huge number of emails that I have to replay, the frequent meeting with the representatives or with the clients,
You
uh,
mean
uh,
representatives?
representatives and the
Okay.
clients led me to bring some of the work to the house, and I spent always maybe 4 to 5 days of the week, the afternoon time to complete and finalize that's accumulated business. That's the difference.
That leads me to my next important question, very important question. Describe a time you had to use fact-finding skills to solve a problem, or describe a time where you had to use your own personal experience to solve a medical problem with one of the patients or at your office regarding some sort of medicine that was given to patients.
Well, in the pharmacy, maybe I'm facing this type of problems, but in the office, I do not think I'm facing that type, because in the office we are dealing with the registration of the company that manufacturing the medicine and importing and exporting it to Iraq, and also the registration of the product itself. So we are dealing with papers, with documents, and discussing always some details like the toxicity study, the stability study, the safety study, discussing some certificates related with these dossiers, like the free sale certificate, the certificate of pharmaceutical product, something like that. Always looking for the companies that have good reputation and marketing their products in the Europe or USA, Canada, in the countries with the gold health system, looking for the GMP certificate, which is the good manufacturing practice. But return back to your question about the pharmacy. In the pharmacy, it was a challenge to speak with the patient that do not want to go to the clinic of the doctor and came to
Maybe because
you.
maybe because they cannot afford going to a doctor, or the cost of visiting
Yes,
a doctor
yes,
is very high.
yes. Almost of them thinking about what you talked now. They do not want to pay the fees of the doctor. They cannot bear that fees, and came to the pharmacist in the pharmacy and talking about signs and symptoms, getting the medicine, and what they have to do only to pay the price of the medicine. They do not give any fees about the advisement that they are taking from the pharmacist. So it was a challenge to speak with the patient, know the signs and symptoms, know the mentality of the patient. Maybe he is not a real patient, maybe he's a placebo one, and you have to ask many and many questions and spend time and effort to get the real case that he is suffering from, and give the drug of choice. And maybe he will visit you more and more time, many times in the pharmacy, and you have to discover if he get benefit from that medicine or not. And if he did not get the benefit, it is a real no benefit, or it is a fake because he has a psychological action
No,
case or not.
let me ask you to elaborate a little bit more on the beneficiaries and the benefit of medicine, because this word is still ambiguous to me. When we
Mhm.
come to talk about the benefit of certain medicine or medical
Yes,
prescriptions, or drugs in general, what do you mean by benefit of medicine? How do you
yes,
define it?
yes. Why we are giving medicine for the patient? Because we as a pharmacist, and the line codes that make him patient. We
Mhm.
want the patient to be good in fast way and in low number of days. What is the benefit of the drug? The benefit of the drug or the medicine is the positive result of taking the pill or tablet, capsule, syrup, any type of the medicine, any dosage form, but it depends about many factors. One of them, the right time to take that medicine, the how often to take that medicine, twice daily, three times daily, something like that, and also depend about how that patient follow the instructions of the pharmacist or the doctor himself to take that medicine. Some patients repeat to take the medicine without take the advisement from the pharmacist or doctor, and that will lead to get a side effect or adverse effects from the medicine that it was intended to get him to make him better, but it will make his case very worse because he repeat the prescription without permission from the specialist guys. Yes.
You mean the doctor or the
Yes. The
physicians?
pharmacist. Well, the doctor, I think the doctor is a certificate of a study, is a level of a study, but it is good to say physician is more accurate word to describe the job, the physician. Yes.
What do you do if a customer asks about an over-the-counter drug you don't know about?
Oh, yes, I faced that many times, and that is the cause that our teachers in the college advised us to always have a reference of medicines in your pharmacy. One of the most important reference is the BNF, which is the British Nationally Formulary. It is an important book and a nice, beautiful reference. It contains all the medicines that approved all over the world in this guide. You have to put this guide or that reference.
Just
Yes.
just to correct here, this is very minor correction that have been approved.
Yes.
Have been
Have
approved
been approved.
because
Yes.
approving medicine is not a human quality for medicines to approve themselves. So if you say that the kind of medicines that approved, you have to say that's approved themselves. But since medicine is
Yes.
not a human,
Have
we
been
cannot
approved from
attribute
human.
perfect.
Yes, you are.
So
You
that
are
is
right.
present perfect. And for indicating that it is started being approved at certain point in time ago, and then it's still continuing to be approved. And the key is been. The key is been, has been, have been here.
Yes.
Or
That
you can simply say
yes.
the kind of medicines that were approved if you
Yes,
just don't want to refer to the continuity of approval here. Keep going.
Yes. So I faced many times a new drugs or new medicines, new molecules. I didn't hear about it before, and check that in the BNF or in any guide that I have in pharmacy, and found it. Read about it for what disease they are using for, and how much it will cost the patient if I want to bring it to him from outside Iraq, from Jordan, from Beirut, for example, and tell him about briefly about that medicine. And always I appreciate the doctors or the physicians that wrote a new molecule for their patients, because I can imagine or consider that physician an updated guys looking for the new molecule, because the new molecule maybe has fast onset of action, longer duration inside the body, with less side effect in compare with the ordinary or the old-fashioned of the medicine that used for the same case of
Are
disease.
there medicines with no side effects?
No, no medicine with no side effect, but always you can find a medicine with low side effect and a medicine with high side effect. For example, let me give you an example. If you have a headache, or if you have a pain back,
If I do have what? The first one you said?
headache,
Say it again.
headache.
Do you have your phone next to you?
Yes.
I want you to Google this word that you just said.
Okay. I think I had a false word.
No,
Headache.
the word that you
Yes.
just said, I want you to Google it and check the pronunciation of this word. Just
Yes.
for fun.
Headache is defined as a pain, as a pain arising from the head or upper neck
No,
of the body.
I don't mean that. I mean the pronunciation. So you need to type the word and after that you say pronunciation so you can hear it.
Oh, okay. Let me try that. Uh, Headache. Yes. Sorry, there's some
What the hell is this?
some
What kind?
yes, there is some egg, some as as
No,
um
this is not the correct dictionary.
yes,
Let me hear.
headache,
Say it again.
headache.
Mm,
What do you think about this word?
I don't think
What is
anything.
the correct what is the correct pronunciation?
Now, this word has two components. The word head and the second word is ache, and ache means pain.
Yes,
So
yes,
head
you're right.
head describes the kind of pain. The pain is located in the head. If we
The
have
head
stomach,
or the upper neck. Yes,
if we have stomach, we have stomach ache. If we
yes,
have, so it's headache,
yes,
not
yes,
headache,
yes.
because
Headache.
headache, because the word
Okay,
ache means pain. I have some toothache,
okay.
headache,
Yes,
stomach ache. We say
yeah.
headache because we commonly heard this from our teachers.
Okay. Yeah, yes, you are right. You are right. You are right.
So it's a
Let me
stomach
give
ache.
you another.
Uh-huh.
Let me give you another example. If you
Please
have
forgive
a
me
back,
if I correct the pronunciation here because I find it fun to discuss these words and find a better way of saying them.
yes, yes. If you have a back pain and
Mhm.
you have to take a medicine to relieve the pain that you have, so maybe in the house you have paracetamol tablet and
Okay.
diclofenac sodium, which is the Voltaren tablet. Both
Yes.
of them, if you take one of them, you will get the result by relieving the back pain. But paracetamol consider with a low side effect in compare with the Voltaren. Why? Because paracetamol is safe on the stomach. If you take 1 ton of paracetamol, your stomach will not affect in any way. But
Mhm.
if you take maybe, for example, 4 tablets of diclofenac sodium per day, maybe with 50 milligram for each one, you will get a stomach ache, or maybe you will get an ulcer. So this is the
So
difference.
so you're saying that the side effect of paracetamol is far more than the side effect of diclofenac sodium.
Yes, no, the diclofenac sodium side effects is more than the side effects of the paracetamol.
So
Paracetamol is
we
safest
say
one.
it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
Oh, yes, the
Okay.
opposite.
Now,
Yes.
I have another question here, and the question is this.
Mhm.
Um, how do you deal with customers or clients or patients who ask you for off
Mhm.
the counter medicine?
Mhm. OTC.
Not on the counter, it's off the counter. So it
OTC.
should,
Over the counter is OTC. Off the counter, the medicines that need a prescription from the physician. Yes, your
or
question.
doctor. Yeah,
Yes.
that's my question. How do you deal with
Yes.
this sort of situation? And have you had any sort of occasion where you had to deal with this sort of situation before?
Yes, of course. Sure. Sure, I faced that situation before, and always I was advising them to go to the doctors because this is a critical case. I cannot give an advisement. I cannot take a decision because this need more detailed from the patient to the physician. The physician is um, has more experience rather than me, and the signs and symptoms that lead him to discover what is the real case of the patient, to define the physician rule and the pharmacist rule. The experience, my experience in medicines is more than the physician, but the physician is more experienced than me in discovering and detecting the kind or the real case of the patient disease.
Okay, that leads me to my next question about pharmacy.
I
And
like your questions regarding the pharmacy.
um, what's the most vital business aspect of a pharmacist job?
In Iraq
Yes,
or in general?
in Iraq.
Look, in Iraq,
I prefer you talk about Iraq because this is part of your field experience and it's
yes,
going to give you a better chance and horsepower to speak more
yes,
and better.
yes, yes. The most important job or duty or the rule for pharmacists in the pharmacy in Iraq is dispensing the prescription and furthermore selling the OTC drugs that will that are sell out of the prescription. But this is unfortunately, because the real rule of the pharmacist in the world is to discover the new molecule of the medicine and to discover the new mixtures and to seeking or searching about new molecules, not to dispense in the pharmacy dispensing the prescriptions. This is the rule of the pharmacist assistant in the world. When you're going to United
You
States
mean
or
this is
Canada,
the role, the
yes, the
role, the
role.
role.
Yes, when you are visiting, of course, you are tried that trial and visited a pharmacy in the USA.
Mm.
You didn't find a pharmacist, maybe at least, you didn't find a pharmacist that dispensing the prescription over the counter. There are many assistants in the pharmacy. Maybe you are facing or talking with the pharmacist about signs or symptoms or a case that you faced when taking the medicine, side effect, drug interaction, something like that. But dispensing prescription is not from the duties of the pharmacist all over the world, but it is the most important role of the pharmacist in Iraq, unfortunately.
Role. Okay, so
Role.
let's just stop here talking about pharmacy and discuss some grammatical aspects that we need to finalize this session with
Yes.
and conclude our session talking about pharmacy and pharmaceutical aspects. Here, this is a list of words that you said during the session when you were talking.
Yes.
And I have some feedback regarding this list of words that we will go through. And we'll
Mhm.
discuss some grammatical aspects of articles, definite and
Yes.
indefinite articles. أدوات التعريف والتنكير.
Yes.
راح نناقشهم بسرعة. So the first word, how do you say this word? The first word.
Mhm.
Do you see it?
Let me go to the list of Skype.
Mm-hmm. Let me walk you back. Let me walk you back to the beginning of conversation that we had. The first word is naked eye. Naked eye يعني
Yes.
بالعين المجردة. So in
Yes,
English we
exactly.
don't say abstract eye, because sometimes people confuse the word abstract, which is mujarrad, to mean naked. So naked eye.
I faced this word in the college because we were looking or searching about the viruses or bacteria in the slice under the microscope. So we were differentiate the germs that we can see it by the naked eye and the germs that we have to use the
Naked
microscope.
eye.
Yes, naked eye and the germs that we have to use the microscope for search for looking to them.
Okay, and the second expression that we commonly hear in English is upper hand.
Yes.
What does it mean بالعربي?
بالعربي اليد الطولى.
Perfect.
The control. It means the control.
Yes.
Yes.
The third word is
reply.
Reply.
Yes.
So it's not replay or replay. It's
yes,
reply.
Yes.
And the next word is
sedative.
Sedative. Okay.
Yes.
Sedative.
Yes.
Sedative. And then we talked about headache and stomachache and backache.
Yes.
And when we want to say يعني هو بالعكس, it's the opposite. Conversely.
Yes.
Now, going to the next
we
list.
use vice versa, Waleed. Is that right?
Vice or vice versa has a different meaning.
Which is in Arabic والعكس صحيح.
Yes, but it's well, when we want to say بالعكس, it's the opposite.
Yes,
oppositely speaking. Now, to this point, we are completely saturated with enough vocabulary, and let's move to a little bit of discussion about grammar here. I want you to open this document. If you have access to it. Are you talking to me from your phone or from your laptop?
No, from the laptop, and I will
okay,
open it.
By the way, just you reminded me of something. We always confuse the word rule with the word roll. Rule. So we say abroad.
When we are a traveler and someone found us and asked there is some change in the phone in your phone or cannot reach you, we are saying we are outside Iraq. Is that wrong?
We are abroad. That's commonly grammatical incorrect answer. Because we do not attribute the word outside to our country. I mean, we can use it, but in very limited sense.
So what is the
more common one is abroad. Because we are abroad.
Say in the airplane, welcome in abroad.
Welcome abroad. No, that's a different one. That's a different one. That's welcome aboard.
Okay.
Welcome aboard. That means مرحبا بكم على المركبة أو كذا.
على متن الطائرة. نعم.
على متن الطائرة. So welcome aboard, but not welcome abroad.
Okay.
Were you able to open the document or not?
Yes, I opened. This is the exercise 11, but why there is a big X?
Because we're not focusing on this exercise. We are focusing on the one after, the one beneath.
The articles?
Yes, that's a little bit confusing one. Go to exercise 12, one-eyed monster. What do we say? We just need to add a or an. So do we say a one-eyed monster or in one-eyed monster? Just quickly, because this is going to help you when you're writing. A or an?
A or an. And one-eyed monster.
Okay. Well, no, it's a one-eyed monster, because W, we depend on pronouncing the word O is pronounced with as if it is W. So W is not a vowel sound.
Is it wrong to use a before the O?
It's right. It's correct to say a one-eyed monster, because we are talking about a one monster, not in one monster.
Really, when I pronounce it as an one-eyed, I felt that it is
Confusing.
very heavy
Doesn't
on
make sense.
it is very heavy
So
on
go
my
by
tongue.
that rule. Go
Yeah.
by that rule. If you feel it difficult, that means there's something wrong about it.
Yes.
A university graduate or an university graduate?
A university graduate.
Okay, go to the third. Answer them by yourself. Just give me a chance to listen to you.
If it is the same as university, so it is
Yes, correct.
a used
Three.
car. Yes.
Go
A
to
used car.
three.
A used car.
Four.
A hurricane.
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 إعصار. Five.
Yes. An only child.
That's you're giving me the answer with a tone of a question.
I know. Yes. An only child.
An only child. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
House cell.
Yeah, of course. A house cell.
Eager student.
Eager student. An eager student.
Usual mistake.
A usual mistake.
Now, in IELTS, if you say in one-eyed monster, that is classified as a wrong answer because you did not use the right article.
Okay.
So you gotta be careful here. One part of the answer is wrong. The whole answer is wrong. They're very strict about that. Exercise 13, choose the article that correctly completes each sentence below. The same. Beyond the ranch is a or in desert. Quickly, come on, it's very easy.
Yes, beyond the ranch is the desert.
2, a or an answer.
If you are stumped for an answer.
3.
A head-on collision between two cars is a much less likely
collision.
A head-on collision between two cars is much less likely to occur than an off-center. An off.
4.
And the 4, Colonel Lowry wore a blue striped shirt and a yellow polka-dotted tie.
The word is colonel. The L is pronounced R here.
Which one? Colonel?
احنا بالعربي نقول colonel بس هي بالإنجليزي colonel.
Wow, colonel.
This is the only word in English that L is pronounced R.
That's a new word for me.
It's a new information, but not new word.
Okay.
Do you hear it?
Yes, colonel.
Colonel. So it's pronounced colonel. This is
and
the only word.
Polka-dotted.
Colonel. Do you see? I type it up in the chat. Colonel.
Yes, colonel. And what about polka-dotted?
It's a kind of tie. It's a kind.
Okay, of course.
It's not as important to our discussion as the other one.
Okay.
I sent you another file. I'm not sure if you got it or not.
Yes, I got it. Download.
It's a second file.
Yes, I will open it. Yes, it's starting by 5, by sitting next to.
By sitting next to exit.
Yes, by sitting next to an exit on public transportation. 6.
Don't read the whole question. Just focus on the
Oh,
word and
yes.
what comes after that.
Yeah. 6, a kitchen.
7.
7, cash in an empty. 8,
Next, Sheila.
Sheila, a uniform.
9.
9, each year. A cupboard.
10.
10, it is an honor to be.
then هو كلمة honor تنجمع.
Honor, no, cannot be.
Say 14. Okay, exercise 14.
It is an honor, is right?
It's correct.
Okay. 14, fill in the blanks with an, the, or leave the blank. All is making $15.
AI, Al is making $15.
Al is
Oh,
making $15.
it's getting complicated.
Yeah.
There's only one answer here.
Making $15 an hour. An hour.
Okay, now go by your intuition. Go by your intuition. Intuition يعني الحدس مالك.
Okay.
Think of how you usually hear it if people talking.
Really, I'm doing that.
I love it. Just
Okay.
rely on your intuition.
Depending
But
on
there
my
are rare
memory.
cases. There are rare cases where it just
Yes.
goes off track. Jill makes it
Make it a habit.
free to tell.
To tell a truth.
To tell.
To tell the truth.
Perfect.
That truth.
I
yes.
love it.
4. Thank you. Helen showed an initiative.
مبادرة. Initiative.
Yes.
Initiative, not initiative.
Okay. Initiative. Okay. 5. Losing as little as the quart of blood.
Quart of blood.
The quart.
A quart.
A quart of blood.
Yeah, because if you say the quart, that means there is certain quart of blood out there.
Okay.
Next.
Over the last 20 years.
I love it. Next, you're getting used to it.
Yes, major changes have taken place in the financial service industry.
Next.
8. Dr. Richard predicts an extinction. And
next.
Most people believe that the library. 10. Taking a hot bath is a good way. 11. Lower programming costs raised the net income reported by the major television network this week.
Okay. Next.
15. Supply the article there if it is necessary. And number 1, I think no need.
Which point
no need.
are you talking about?
Exercise 15, number 1.
Okay. Now for this exercise, I'm going to ask you to put it for our next meeting because I want you to do a little bit of focusing here on the words because these are proper nouns. These are names of countries and continents and places. So do we say Caucasus or do we say the Caucasus or we don't say that? Do we say Hague or the Hague? Have you heard of Hague or not?
No, Hague no, but Caucasus, yes, I heard about it, which is the place close to Russia.
If you hear Hague Court, that means محكمة لاهاي. Hague.
Ah, yeah.
But for your information, هذه هو دولة
You mean
يعني
the
هذه هي
international,
place.
the International Justice Court?
Yes. But do we say Hague or do we say The Hague? That is what I want you to do a little bit of research about
Okay.
for our next meeting.
Okay.
This was very informative meeting, Mr. Osama. I look forward
Thank
to
you.
see you soon, inshallah. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for your
Waleed. Thank you very
initiative
much. Thank you.
and your active participation.
Thank you very much, Waleed. You are
More than welcome.
you are very helpful. You are very helpful to me. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.